Hello everybody, welcome to Guadalajara. That's Guadalajara, Mexico. That's the second time I've said it in succession, not Guadalajara, near Madrid. We're here for the third competition, the third tournament of the Pro Paddle League. We've already had Miami, we've already had San Sebastian, and now we are in Guadalajara to see who will book the definitive spots in the Cities Cup. Myself, Paul Giblin, and I'm joined by Mr. Paul Reedy. We had an interesting evening, a long evening of competition on Thursday night. We're back Friday. It's a full session here in Guadalajara. We're going to have the Cancun Waves back. Looking forward to it, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was fascinating in terms of 4 games that nothing went as we planned. Game started one way and then it swung the other way, and I expect more of the same today, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. We've already seen in the first 4 matches that nothing is decided until the end. They've swung one way, they've swung the other. Anyhow, we're here in the Pro Paddle League. As you know, it's a team competition now. It's different from others. Let's just remind you of the format.
After an exciting tournament in Miami and a resounding success in San Sebastian, the Pro Paddle League is ready for its third event of the 2025 season. This time the spotlight turns to North America, specifically Guadalajara, Mexico. This will be the final stop of 2025, where the top 8 teams will secure their spot in the Cities Cup, taking place this October. The format of this event in Guadalajara will be as follows. 10 clubs will participate in this competition, each with representation in both the men's and women's divisions. The competition will last 4 days, with each club playing 2 matches during the first 3 days. Men's and women's doubles matches will be played as best of 3 sets, with golden point and a 10-point super tiebreak in the third set. The top 4 clubs in both the men's and women's divisions, based on their records after the first 3 days, will qualify for Podium Day. Day 4 of the competition is called Podium Day and will feature the third place and final matches in both divisions, where the event champions will be crowned.
Okay, have you got that? Because there'll be a test later on. Okay, our second day of competition here in Guadalajara kicks off, or gets going, serves off, with the Toronto Polar Bears looking for a vital win, and they're playing the New York Atlantics with a couple of changes. That'll be followed by the Flow Rider Goats and the Las Vegas Smash in our morning session. Let's remind you of the tiebreaker situations, obviously important when it comes to points. If it's head-to-head, then the winner gets the advantage. If not, if teams are level, then it's decided on the percentage of sets won or lost. That will be in vital, and then it goes down to games, points, and perhaps even the toss of a coin. And as we were saying, the percentage of sets and games I think is going to come into play here in Guadalajara, because yesterday on Thursday we started off with 4 matches. We had some really close competitions. We had some exciting, fascinating paddle.
There was some excellent action yesterday. One of the standout figures for me was Bergamini. For me, he won me over. I think he won the crowd over here. His determination, his desire to win every point was just a joy to watch, Paul.
Indeed it was. So what we're going to do in a couple of moments is we're going to look back at what happened on Thursday. It's just like a little appetizer for what you can maybe expect this Friday here in Guadalajara. As we say, we had four games. We started off with San Diego Stingrays against the Cancun Waves.
And I think we're going to have a quick recap.
There you go, there's the video.
Patrocinador el que nos pone la pista.
It was basically one of these games where San Diego started very strongly, didn't they, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, they flew out of the blocks, ran into a 3-love lead, but that was not what the outcome was going to be, because despite winning the first set with some majestic play from Claudia and from Lucia, well, in the second set, the rivals from Cancun bounced back and delivered a major surprise and pushed things all the way, but just couldn't get it over the line. And ultimately, the Stingrays won out, secured the win, and secured the match.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was another one of those matches of 2 sets, really just giving away too much of an advantage. Marina Lobo and Sofia Sainz at the start of the opening set. From then, it was pretty much even, wasn't it? But maybe, wouldn't you say, the experience of Lucia Sainz was really important. Claudia Jensen showed some fantastic lobbing, has to be said.
I think so, and I think what we saw yesterday too was a trend that we're seeing in the game of paddle, whereby the game can swing on a matter of moments, a matter of instances, a matter of net calls, And it's, again, the psychological thing we keep talking about in the game of paddle, where you can build yourself a positive dynamic, and in the matter of a quick seconds and some positive play from your rival, you're on the ropes, and they gain the initiative, and it's tricky.
Certainly is. He's seeing just how this game is panning out. It ended up 6-3, 7-5 to the San Diego Stingrays. We reckon they've just about assured their place in New York for the Cities Cup. And it was one of those, just in that last game, it could easily have gone to a tiebreak. Who knows what would have happened if it had gone to a super tiebreak. So that was the first blood, so to speak, to the San Diego Stingrays, and that set us up for the men's match, which was another real thriller. You could make a case for this being the best match of the session. We certainly saw, I would say, the star player of the session in Lucas Bergamini. We're going to start seeing a few images of that in a moment or two, and once again it was really close in terms of scoring. 7-6, 7-6, and well, you're going to have a look at some spectacular play here, as it was Lucas Bergamini and Alex Chozas for the Stingrays, and Agustin Torre and Alex Ruiz.
I particularly like Bergamini's spirit, Paul. I mean, he never gave anything for dead, battled every point, even if it looked like a lost cause. And for me, his spirit, his smile, his temperament was just a joy to watch.
That was an example, I think, of Bergamini. So he's one of the smallest players on the tour, 1.65 m, but although obviously some of the bigger lads, such as Alex Ruiz, have got the advantage of power, they can hit some spectacular smashes. Bergamini, what he's got is that little 3 or 4 yards of explosive pace, which means he gets to balls that maybe some players don't even get near. And he also produced some spectacular shots, such as this one out the door, along the forecourt, under the referee's chair. Thank you very much.
No, it was a fantastic display, and every credit to the opponents, Torre and Ruiz. They pushed them all the way, and ultimately just didn't have that final push over the line. Bergamini and Chozas doing enough to secure the win, and as you said earlier on, Paul, Stingrays marching on and destined for a trip to New York in the month of October.
I think that is almost nailed on, which will be fantastic news for the Stingrays, because they missed out on the Cities Cup last year. This was maybe the shot of the day, wasn't it? Bergamini is out of court, he's falling over, and he still somehow manages to find the winner. The crowd, even though the majority of people here were with Cancun, you could see them really warming to the little Brazilian, who was outstanding.
I think he won them over, Paul. Just the tenacity displayed, just the joy he showed playing paddle. It was wonderful to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. So that was our first match of the session. Long session. Then it was nearly 4 hours for those two matches, and it was pretty warm in here in the arena. After that, we had Houston against the Miami Paddle Club, and once again, one of those matches that started off really in favour of Houston, and then Miami recovering really well, taking it to the limit, and as they say in Spain, swimming through the rapids to die on the riverbank.
Yeah, I mean, the first set was all about Marta Barrera for me. She was in inspired form, delivering killer smashes and pinpoint precision, absolutely majestic play. But then once again, as we saw for the third time in succession, the dynamic changed, and in the second set, enter one Laia Rodriguez, who took the initiative, and she became the boss in that game. She was the definitive player, and that second set for me was all about Laia Rodriguez. She was on fire. Yeah,
just to remind you, it was Marta Barrera and Marta Caparrós, the two Martas, looking to build on the third place in San Sebastian against Sandra Beiver and Laia Rodriguez. In the end, Houston getting it over the line, but it was well, to be fair, it went to the tie-break, didn't it? And then they absolutely ran away with the tie-break, which was must have been frustrating for Laia Rodriguez and Sandra Beiver.
Yeah, I think to have managed to get back into a commanding position and then to just let it slip once again, yeah, the levels of frustration for Miami would have been through the roof, Paul.
Exactly. So another really important win for the Houston Volts. They're currently in the last place in the standings that would take you to New York, so winning that will give them some important points. And the men, well, they had a very difficult task ahead of them. It was Ivan Ramirez and Alberto Trabanco, and they had the task of playing Eduardo Alonso and Fede Chingotto. No small task. And to be fair, after a little bright start from Houston, it looked as if Chingotto and Eduardo Alonso were going to run away with it.
Well, I think this was the game that we saw as being the nailed-on win for Miami Paddle Club, and how wrong we were, Paul. I mean, it was an inspired delivery from Ivan and Alberto. They really surprised us. They surprised everybody. Two young players, and they really took the task to both Eduardo and Federico.
Exactly. First set, well, I think it was about 20 minutes. 6-2 for Cingotto and Alonso. They looked as if they clicked into gear after the first 2 or 3 games. Cingotto producing shots like that. But then, Trabanco, for example, he hit some absolutely stunning winners. The second set, everything changed dramatically. And, you know, there was a time they were break up and you thought, yeah, the break back's going to come. The break back's going to come. It didn't. 6-3. We went to a super tie break, obviously first to 10 points and 2 clear. And let's forget, Houston, they were 5-2 up in that super tie break before Alonso and Cingotto clicked into gear.
And I think you mentioned earlier on that you came across Eduardo and Fede afterwards, and they were delighted to win, but equally as frustrated was Ivan and Alberto.
Yeah, just let you know, a little inside information. I was on the minibus back to the hotel post game. In the pouring rain, it has to be said, and there was the Houston team there, and Ivan and Alberto, they were basically saying, we were so close once again, we nearly got there. And then a couple of the girls said, well, are we going to go to an after-hours party? And they all said, well, maybe, we've got tomorrow off. Let's have a look. As we're saying, we have a few changes to our lineups today. First up, for the Toronto Polar Bears, this is who's going to be turning out. Victoria Iglesias and Noemi Aguilar. Noemi in for Marina Guinart. So, little change there. They've not had a great start, it has to be said, the Polar Bears. They've not won, Iglesias and Guinart. So wonder if bringing in Naomi Aguilar might just change that dynamic.
I mean, it's last chance saloon for Toronto, Paul. They have 4 points after 2 events, and they need to win and win big and hope that results go their other way. So yeah, it's a tough task, but not impossible.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen some decent things from Mario Huerte as well, but once again, the men have also struggled to get it over the line, and they've got a difficult task first up against the New York Atlantic. So, speak of the devil for New York. Once again, further changes: Carolina Orsi and Ksenia Sharifova. You've actually had pronunciation classes off that.
She's told me how to pronounce her name. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about them pretty much coming up. But Carolina Orsi, the top Italian player, and for the men, Juan Tello and Lucas Campagnolo. No John Sanz, who's a big hitter and a really good driving force, but Tello and Campagnolo, it's a guarantee.
Yeah. Well, nothing's guaranteed, Paul, as we saw yesterday. You would expect them to be favourites, but you never know. I mean, anything can happen on as we saw yesterday, and I expect there to be a few twists and turns in this game.
Okay, next up, the Flow Rider Goats, already assured of their place in the Cities Cup, but couple more changes. There's no Gemma Triay and there is no Delphi Brea, but it's Arantxa Zuosoro, and she is backed by Nuria Rodriguez. For the men, no Ausberger and there is no Cardona, but we have the 2 youngsters coming in, and we've just been getting a bit of information about them. One of them, very good touch player, and the other likes to hit it. So even though we're not going to have the regular men playing for the Goats, we are going to have some spectacular action. So it's going to be very much keep an eye on the Goats men's match. And
the Goats obviously are the only franchise who have qualified automatically for New York, so they'll be maybe in laid-back mode. Possibly.
I don't think you're going to see Arantxa Zuosoro in laid-back mode. That does not exist. Okay, they will. Next up, Las Vegas Smash, Noah Carbonas and Sara Ruiz. For the women, and for the men, Gonzalo Alonso, Javier Barajona and Chisco Hill. So once again, no Martita Ortega for the Smash, and no Sofia Arojo. Once again, that is a little bit of a loss. I think losing the players ranked 6th and 7th in the world. Obviously no Martita, so it's down to the other two to really make it good.
Yeah, and they're playing the Flow Rider Goats, as we said, the team who have qualified. So, yeah, I mean, they're in that sort of safe ground. They need the points to guarantee that place in New York, because ultimately there's 2 prizes at stake here. It's getting to Sunday, the final here on podium day, and also making the trip to New York in the month of October.
The thing about the Las Vegas men, I have to say they pulled off a surprise in San Sebastian, beating Tapia and Fede. So that's very much watch this space if Barahona can control himself. The LA Beat, once again, they're under pressure now, especially after Houston winning that women's game. Barbara Las Heras and Julia Polo, they've also to win a match. Tolito Aguirre and Alvaro Cepero. Tolito Aguirre, we saw some flashes of what he's capable of in San Sebastian. He's capable of some really magic. He's another one of those big entertainers, the Argentinian. He's a powerful lad, big hitter, also likes to please the crowd, so very much one of those matches to watch. Barbara Las Heras, I think she's one of the best technical players around. Her career suffered because of a knee injury, and they really need to try and get a win to have a chance of going to New York. And our last team we haven't seen yet is the Arkansas. Going to say that one again for you, Paul. Arkansas Matrix. Living in Spain, sometimes he picks up the Spanish pronunciation. Pati Laguna, Bea Caldera, Aranceli Martinez. No real changes there for Arkansas. For the men, Inigo Joffre and Mario del Castillo. Gonzalo Rubio isn't with us this time. They're another one of the teams that have obviously got good supporters. Their team owners, they always travel to show the support. So Arkansas, I think they're going to give, obviously with Patty, that's going to be a close game against the Stingrays
Certainly
later on today.
Yeah. And I'll blame that Arkansas slip on jet lag, Paul, in my defence.
Just think the wacky races, mate. The Arkansas Chugabug, that's the one to remember. Lazy Luke and Blubber Bear. Still sticks in my memory, even though I was 6 years old at the time.
I'm looking forward to seeing Patti Laguno and Lucia on court together.
Okay, it's time for our picks. We've been in contact with our friend, Mr. Eric McKee, but unfortunately, he's forgotten to pass them on to us, so Paul is going to have to step in. It's his fault, Eric, if he gets them wrong. Okay, starting off with the picks, what have we got first up? We have the, sorry, champ, to take the note, Polar Bears against the Atlantics. I am going to go with the Atlantics women, and I am going to go with the Atlantics men.
Right, for the opening game, I am also joining you in that Atlantics double, Paul.
That's cowardly, because you know that Eric's got a 2-point lead over me in the picks league, so if you just choose the same, you're not going to go wrong. Right, for the Goats against the Smash, I think I want to go for the Goats for the women, and I fancy the Smash to get it over the line with the men.
Okay, I, on behalf of Eric, will go for a Flow Rider double. I think they're the in-form team. They've already qualified, but I think they want to impress and will dominate both games.
Okay, in the afternoon session we have the LA Beat and the Cancun Waves. I think a lot might depend in the women's game on how Sofia Sainz and Marina Lobo start. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Beat with the women's game. I think Barbara Las Heras and Julia Polo deserve a win. They've gone close in quite a few of their matches against top rivals, and well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I'm sorry, we're just going to have to talk about a few other things. I'm going to go for the Los Angeles Beat men. Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco for Cancun. I am going to be going with Maxi and Franco. You haven't seen them yet. You're going to enjoy those.
I'm going to go for a Cancun double on behalf of Eric.
Exactly. So we're just going to kill a little bit of time now. This will be in our afternoon session, which, remind you, will be starting at no earlier than 6 p.m. local time here in Guadalajara. It all depends. If we have a long morning session, then we'll just run straight into it. If the morning session is a bit quicker, we get time for lunch. That'll be really good. Okay, looking at the last match of the session, which is Arkansas Matrix against the San Diego Stingrays. Pati Laguna and Bea Caldera, Lucia Sainz, Claudia Jensen. I mean, that's the toughest one to call in the whole of the tournament.
It is. I mean, I've made it quite obvious I've got a soft spot for the Stingrays, and I'm going to go for a Stingrays double.
Yeah, I think I am as well. I think it's going to be Patti and Claudia Jensen to get it over the line again. And the Matrix, Chortas and Bergamini once again. If Bergamini is in half the form he was on last night, then it's going to be the Stingrays to take it home. And maybe we'll see them on podium day. Anyhow, we're going to leave you now, and we will be with our presenter, Pia. Pia is here.
Muy buenos buenos días, Guadalajara. Estamos en el segundo día del Scratch Pro Paddle League, aquí en el Domo Code Alcalde. El día de ayer tuvimos unas series emocionantes, acabamos prácticamente en la madrugada del día de hoy y hoy va a ser un día largo donde vamos a ver el mejor pádel del mundo. Ya están aquí los jugadores y toca presentarlos. Tenemos que empezar con el equipo de los Toronto Polar Bears. Ellos son Noemí Aguilar, Víctor Iglesias, Adrián Ronco y Mario Huete. Y nos toca presentar también al equipo de los New York Atlantics. Ellos son Carolina Orsi, Sharifova, Lucas Campanolo y Juan Tello.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first match then of the morning session, and it is the Toronto Polar Bears needing really to win everything if they want to go to New York against the New York Atlantics. No Ari Sanchez, no Tamara Icardo, and no Andre Ustera here today, but we do have Carolina Orsi and Sinia Sharifova, who is very much rising up the rankings. She's probably 30 in the world rankings, but I think she started last year at about number 70, so she's been doing really well. Looking forward to seeing her play. It's been interesting there, Paul. Myself, Paul Giblin, and Mr. Paul Reedy with you.
Good morning, everybody.
Just listening to them talk to the referee there. You probably heard it. And Carolina says, "So is there a video revision?" And the referee goes, "No." So she goes, "So you're active then?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, I mean, he just read out the initial guidelines, saying that he's in charge. They made the coin toss. Interesting to see that both Victoria and Noemi won the toss, but decided to give serve to the opposition.
That's interesting. We do have a feeling here. Quite often, the opening service game always tends to see a break. So maybe that's why you want to seed. But once again, you have that advantage if you serve first, then you break and hold. You take into the first proper break a 3-love lead, which is only one break up, but it looks and feels a lot more.
Yeah, again, for me, the exciting thing about this competition, there's a lot of new faces, Paul, is to see this emerging talent. You mentioned Sharifova, who has a very interesting backstory. She's originally from Russia, and she moved to Spain when she was 16, and initially started out in the tennis circuit, and then transitioned into paddle, and now just finds herself playing as a professional, and extremely happy with life in Valencia, where she's based her new home.
Absolutely, yeah. And I say gone quite considerably up the rankings over the last couple of years. And Carolina Orsi, someone who's been on the circuit for a long time, qualified sports management degree as well. So I think she's got her future well mapped out. Top Italian player, ranked in the top 25 in the world, and obviously Italy, another one of those countries where paddle is absolutely booming. Over 10,000 paddle courts in Italy again, that's absolutely taken off. Courts just like our lovely Adidas court down here, as you can see, that lovely black playing surface, the gold surround, just makes you want to get a paddle out, doesn't it, and start playing a few shots. I can imagine you running down there in the break, Paul, giving it.
I'm still tempted, Paul. I didn't bring my racket, but there's plenty of rackets available, and if somebody gives me an opportunity of 5 minutes with a pro paddle player, I will be in my element. Absolutely delighted. And I think it's only a matter of time before they will be finding me out that I have a very limited talent. I'm a late blossomer, I think, when it comes to paddle. But again, it's one of these games. It's a sport that I never played until I was, a couple of years ago. Always dismissed it as a racket sport. I was more of a football guy. Picked up a paddle racket, tried it once, and it was just, there's no way, but no turning back, Paul. It was pure addiction.
I think there's a lot of sports, but including a lot of footballers who, when they retire, want to carry on being competitive and playing sports, and a lot of them are turning to paddle. I think, was it Shay Given, the Irish goalkeeper, who's invested in paddle courts in Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, we talked yesterday about emerging markets, and Ireland and the UK are two perfect cases. Shay Given has invested in a series of courts in County Kildare, which is just outside the capital, Dublin. And we're seeing more of that. I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, former AC Milan player, former Swedish star, has a series of courts in Milan.
In San Sebastian, we're talking to the former Spain international Fernando Llorente, said, "I am an absolute addict."
No, I mean, you see Leo Messi, you see Cristiano Ronaldo, you see Jurgen Klopp. Klopp even launched his own range of rackets and merchandise with one highly recognised international brand. And Klopp spends a lot of time in the island of Mallorca, and obviously Mallorca is one of the epicenters in Spain of paddle.
Does he play at the Klopp Club? So anyhow, Carolina Orsi and Sharifova, as we say, Victoria Iglesias, normally plays alongside Marina Guinart, but it hasn't worked out. They've had some good results over the season in other tournaments, but here in the Pro Paddle League, it just hasn't clicked for them. They've had good starts, they've had some good moments, and then it's always, there seemed to have been a little bit of mental fragility that once they make a mistake, it did seem to affect them. So maybe just here, a little change might do them good. Naomi Aguilar, still a very young player, but very, very serious and sober in her attitude, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting dynamic for me of today's game is that in a recent competition in San Luis de Potosi in Mexico, both Victoria and Noemi were opponents, and they're lining up today on the same team, and that will be interesting because obviously they'll know how each other plays. They'll obviously have watched each other on various tours over the years, but it's going to be interesting to go from playing with your partner to then, to opposing your partner to playing together. It's an interesting kind of chemistry there, I think.
Noemi usually plays alongside Julia Polo, who is, of course, with Barbara Las Heras. We'll be seeing her in action first in that evening session, which should start here in the Domo Code in Guadalajara at 6 p.m. local time. Still some tickets on sale. Click on the Pro Paddle League website and you will be taken to a booking site if you are in the area, and if you want to fly in, why not?
Yeah, so this is the first of 8 matches today. 4 matchups, four teams, 4 franchises in action. We're going to see Toronto, we're going to see New York, the Flow Riders, Las Vegas, LAB. We're going to see Cancun back in action again for the second time. And then the action will be wrapped off by Arkansas against San Diego. Again, another team who we saw in action on day 1.
Let's see how this one goes. There's quite a few powerful hitters here. Obviously, we got Sharifova and Orsi, and Victoria Iglesias is also somebody who hits the ball hard. She's got one of those. She's one of the few players, once again, an ex-tennis background, with who uses a two-handed backhand, which is always something that Mr. Eric McKee, who's usually with me. We wish him all our best for a very, very swift recovery, and we'll be seeing him in New York in October. He always highlights that, Eric. That double-handed backhand. Anyhow, it is Carolina Orsi serving. And first point goes for the Polar Bears.
That's that smash you talked about there with Victoria delivering.
Interesting option there from Sharifova to try and hit that first one off the back of the court. That one went long.
It's always a difficult shot, Paul, because it's so unpredictable. You're not in control, and it can go anywhere.
Obviously, lots of factors such as the humidity on the. I mean, obviously, it should be clean, but humidity, even if it is a bit humid in the atmosphere, could affect it. It's not warm. It's not that warm at the moment here, but it's a little bit humid. It absolutely. Sorry, Englishman talking about the weather, Paul. Sorry, but it absolutely poured down, a thunder and lightning, and don't know what last night. Flooding in the streets, etc., etc. I had a couple of drops fall on my head, but like a professional, kept on talking. And
I think it's that time of the year, Paul, here in Mexico, where we've been told by locals that storms, these sudden thunderstorms that leave a lot of surface water, are quite common at this time of year.
So if you're flying in here, don't fly in about 9 o'clock, I think is the rule. 40-15. But what it does, it means it's going to get a little bit warmer now, so we will have a bit of humidity here in the arena. What we've seen is the court is quick because we are at 1,500 meters above sea level, and even though they have little actions to some of the pressure out of the ball, it does fly and it does bounce quite well. We just steers it into the side there, Carolina Orsi. I
think it's always difficult to be the first players on court. It's the first day of the session, early in the morning. The arena's slowly starting to fill up in terms of supporters coming in. Not an easy one to be involved in.
So the Atlantics, actually, the women, it was Tamara Ricardo and Andrea Ustari in San Sebastian, lost both of their matches, which is a bit of a surprise. And all of a sudden, golden point. Our first of the day, and I suspect the first of many.
And there's also added pressure on the Polar Bears because they know that they have to win, and have to win comfortably and then sit back and hope that results go their way, Paul.
Well, we started off with a break of serve as Carolina rushes in and puts that volley into the net.
Again, as you said, by allowing the opponents to take the first service, the plan has worked out wonderfully.
It's the first game, break of serve. Don't say I didn't tell you. Going to be Victoria Iglesias to serve.
Out of the 4 players, Victoria is the highest ranked of the quartet on the current international statistics. 20 in the overall standings.
Carolina Orsi is about 24, 25, isn't she, around there?
Carolina is 32, Sharifova 30, and Noemi at 50.
Okay. 30 love. The problem is about sometimes being a lower ranked player is that when you get to tournaments, very often in the first round you find yourself playing the very top seeds, and so it's hard to progress. I think this is one reason why players like the Pro Paddle League, because of the group format. It means that even if you lose your first match, you're back the next day or the day after to play again. So it just allows you to get that little bit more rhythm in your game, which you can then carry over into other tournaments. Just overhits that one there, Victoria. 30 all. And that goes long from Orsi. She's from Rome.
Self-confessed Lazio fan, Paul.
No one's perfect.
I discovered this morning. Now living in Madrid. I think Madrid and Valladolid seem to be the 2 destinations for a lot of players.
And Barcelona, of course.
When they move to Spain. I mean, anywhere in Spain ultimately has wonderful facilities.
Lovely shot there to win the point and the second game. Arturo Cuello obviously currently joined number 1 with Gustapier in the men's ranking. He's from Valladolid. It's only an hour from Madrid on high-speed train. Nicely played there by Carolina Orsi. Interesting wine lovers fact. Valladolid is the only city in Spain that is within 5 different wine regions. There you go. Little fact I picked up on my travels.
Out of the 4 players on corporal at the moment, the one player impressing me is Victoria. She's shooken off the cobwebs and certainly has started the most inspired of the quartet.
Sharifova puts that one high. And Noemi a bit frustrated with that one.
Again, Victoria doing the captain's job, just keeping Noemi on side after that mistake.
And well played. Recovering well, 15-30. There's that two-handed backhand. Well defended this time, and that's well played by Orsi. Did well to continue at the net there, didn't they? Which is where you need to be really to win the points.
Great vision from Carolina there. Carolina just looking for that. She had a sliver of opportunity and she found it to perfection. Just channeling the ball through the gap to perfection.
Second serve. stretch for that one though, and once again 2 break points. Chance to go love 3, but with 2 breaks. Yeah, just a bit long that serve. Sharifova and Orsi looking to control the net. That just went a fraction long, so another golden point, our 3rd golden point, 2nd golden point in 3 games. It'll be Naomi Aguilar to receive. That's interesting. Good lob. And that's a nice return as well. It's like a little game of chess, isn't it? Each trying to get that domination of the net. Once again, Orsi and Sharipova coming forward, and maybe a little lacking in patience there, Victoria Iglesias, but there's the first point for Sharipova and Orsi, who really needed that. They're going 3-2 down. Sorry, 2-1 down and a breakdown.
That was a very risky effort from Victoria, and sadly in her case it didn't actually pay off, but it was looking to generate those small margins, looking to just clip the ball into a very acute angle. First major mistake we've seen from the Sevillana this morning. But again, out of the 4 players, she's certainly the one who's come out of the blocks flying.
Absolutely. One of the things we noticed was we actually are in the same hotel as quite a lot of the teams, is the Atlantics. They are a team, aren't they? They all go down and they all have breakfast together with Sarah, the coach.
Well, I mean, we saw that this morning, Paul. They had their own area in the breakfast room, all wearing their tracksuits, wearing their kind of official uniforms. And yeah, they certainly looked like a team. As you see, a lot of the other players, they kind of hang out together and they do their own thing. But there was very much a sense of unity and union between the Atlantic. Certainly on match day, they want to transmit that kind of solidity of a group.
Oh yeah. Same thing on the bus back with the Houston team yesterday. There was like some couple going, so we're going out for an after. We're looking for an after hours place. And someone else put the music on. I don't think they went to the after hours place in the end, but they put the music on and it was, bouncing. I don't know if that was just because of the potholes, but it was bouncing. But once again, a very young team, a club that puts its emphasis on youth. Okay, Naomi Aguilar, 2-1 up, break to the good. Just long little.
Ever so. And sometimes the angles are deceptive from the monitor here, Paul, and from our position. That's a fantastic shot from Victoria.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Interesting to see too that the women's side of the Polar Bears have yet to register a point after 2 competitions, Paul. So this is an opportunity here for Noemi and Victoria to break that hoodoo.
It's interesting. After playing in the Cities Cup in New York last November, so it was November last year, it's October this year. It was when Marina Guinart and Victoria Iglesias decided, hey, this has worked out quite well, and they became a pair in other tournaments as well. But who knows, after they've lost all the games in this, and maybe if it works out here, who knows whether the PPL might see another change in regular pairings. Actually, it's been okay for Iglesias and Guinart, though, it has to be said, in the regular season. Reacts well there. Oh, she gets it over the line, oh, well played, gets it over the net, but there was a little drop shot.
I like the way too that Iglesias mix-ups her shot. She's not just a one-dimensional power player. She's also got that little that ability to be subtle, and that is a deft drop, as you will find, Paul. Beautiful.
Little bit short, that lob, and well finished there by Sharifova. 3-1 down, 15 love up in this game.
That's a fantastic hit from the Russian player.
Oof, that was a bit over enthusiastic that time from Victoria. 30 love.
Time to reset. A little bit of communication breakdown there between Carolina and Ksenia.
Once again, overhit. 40-15. Working and well there, and that's a well-worked point and a well-won point. Well played there by the Atlantics.
Wonderful the way they had the other two on the back foot, and despite the best efforts of Victoria Iglesias, the point ultimately going the way of the team from New York.
Look as if they're just, not saying got to top gear yet, but look as if they've just woken up from that early lethargy, doesn't it?
I mean, as we said before, I think Victoria Iglesias is the star player of the quartet at the moment. And so much of how this game will flow will depend on her mentality. We've seen a little bit of frustration, a tendency to look for those aggressive strikes, and when they don't come off, you can see that frustration, and that's something that she needs to control herself, that ability to just manage her emotions on the court. I mean, we've said it already, Paul, yesterday during the commentary, and we'll say it countless times. The mental aspect and the psychological aspect of this sport cannot be understated.
Yeah. And things can change very quickly in the space of 2 or 3 points.
It's incredible. I mean, we saw it just in black and white yesterday, the amount of times where teams got into a lead, you think they're cruising, and all of a sudden a couple of points, a couple of misplaced errors into the net, a couple of sometimes luck doesn't shine your way,
and you just get yourself under pressure. We say it, and it's a cliche, but sometimes cliches are cliches because they're actually true.
Yeah. That's the other cliche that we haven't actually drummed out yet, is paddle is the fastest growing sport in the world.
And it's true.
Wonderful.
Once again, nicely angled. Well,
yeah, we saw so many times yesterday. Once the cage comes into play, it's a lottery.
30 love. Once again, I think we're seeing, aren't we, that the court's quick.
The game, it was the last game of the yesterday's session, Paul. That was, despite the scoreline and going to the super tiebreak, it was a super quick game.
It lasted just an hour.
Yeah, an hour for a three-setter.
6-2, 3-6, and then the super tie break, which does make things a bit quicker.
Sure.
10-7, but yeah.
And this morning we've been on court just over 17 minutes. And that has gone long.
Just in. Nice lob.
and just out.
Just went
Inches.
once again. Maybe there the altitude just making the ball fly that little bit further. 1,500 meters above sea level. Not enough to actually notice it. It's not like Mexico City where at 2,000 meters you do notice it. And there is the game, however. 4-2. It'll be Sharifova to serve. The bajada doesn't quite connect with it, I think, as you would have liked. Well played. Don't think Victoria hit that cleanly, that previous shot, Victoria Iglesias.
Sharifova showing that she can administer plenty of aggressivity too with her strikes, her smashes.
Oh, that went long. Carolina Orsi seemed to call it straight away. So when they were chatting to the referee just in the the coin toss, I think the general feeling was okay. There's no video, so we basically call what we see. Same referees who were with us in Miami, the same trio. Really good set, really good bunch, good laughs. Gets to it. And that's going to just drop in.
Excellent shot from Victoria.
Once
Wonderful.
again, just tying Sharifova up in knots there.
There is generally, I think, at every level of paddle, a degree of nobility in the sense of play that fair play is the key factor. Very rarely do you come across individuals who'll try and cut corners or call balls out when they know it was in.
Once again, that's a lovely little backhand lob there from Naomi. And she went for the bajada there. Into the net, 30 all. Clips the net again. Well, somehow defended that, but both out of position now. That's with the lob. And did that go out?
I think that was
Did
into the...
yeah, called out. So 2 more break points. Frustration there, another golden point. Half of our games in this match going to golden points.
And all going the way of the Toronto Polar Bears so far.
Yeah, went a little bit long. Massive point this, I think, for the destiny of the set. You're not going to I don't think you're going to come back from 2 breaks down.
No.
Well played, was brave and won the point. 4-3, well played there, Ksenia Sharifova. Winds up. And it's always a little bit too far away from Victoria there.
It's not the first time today we've seen that big smash from the Russian player, Paul. Certainly packs a punch.
So it's just that one break in it still, so.
I always find that at a time like this in the game, it's interesting to analyse the body language from the players. And I do detect just a degree of slight frustration from Victoria. She's tried to deliver a few smashes and they haven't gone off. She's tried to deliver that big, powerful smash and sometimes driven into the net, sometimes just hit it long.
I'm quite enjoying Naomi's playing very solid stuff though. I think one of the things about Marina Guinart is she's got a big hit on her, and she can hit some big winners, maybe as big as any player in the women's game, but she's also got unforced errors in her. I think if Naomi can just keep it tight, which is what she's doing so far.
Yeah, I mean she's starting to sort of establish her role in the game. It's been the first few games were very much the Victoria Iglesias show. I think Noemi slowly but surely starting to feel her place on the court, get into the dynamic of the competition, obviously playing with an reasonably unfamiliar partner. All those elements coming into play. Double whammy there from Toronto.
It's Naomi serving. Just glided a bit long, 15 all.
I think another thing that you don't appreciate from the perspective here, and it's something you can only appreciate at courtside, the amount of spin, backspin, topspin, side spin, whatever spin you want, delivered on every single shot is staggering.
Yeah, it's all with the racket angle and the way you throw your arm at it.
Precisely, Paul, yeah. And I remember watching in a tournament in Madrid, watching it behind the thing, and it's incredible to see how every shot, even the serves, the amount of side spin and cut on that ball.
Nice little lob there, just got there, Sharipova. Chasing it and wouldn't have counted anyhow. 40-15, good recovery here from Iglesias and Naomi Aguilar. 40-15. Well played down there, Chiquita unplayable. 5-3. Carolina Orsi serving, needs to hold serve to stay in this opening set.
I think 5-3 is a fair reflection of what we've seen. I think again, I hate to.
I think they've got more in them, the New York Atlantics.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's unfulfilled potential at the moment. And I think at the moment, Noemi is starting to complement Victoria.
It's well played by Carolina Orsi. Oh dear. Didn't get a racket over that one, did she? She's looking to get over it, put some topspin on it, but never there. Love. That was an awkward. Things that usually in that sort of situation it might be a good idea to let it bounce, but it just bounced a bit close there to the back of the glass.
Well, ultimately, you've got no space to launch your racket, Paul. That's the problem. There's just no space to be able to connect cleanly with any form of thing, and so the Globo is the obvious candidate.
In the end, though, they take the point. 40 love. The angle of the racket when she actually hits the ball. It's gone a wee bit long. 40-15. Well played. Chases that one out of the court. Victoria Iglesias, you might as well stay there and go for a little sit down. 5 games to 4 after this little break. They will have the chance, the Polar Bears, to serve for the set. Say one of our sponsors here is the mineral water Scotch, of which we have lots and lots of bottles. I can tell you something, the fizzy, the carbonated version is very fizzy indeed. As you saw when I opened it over, I made the big mistake of opening it over the desk and it fizzed.
Campa and El Gato Juan Tello just tuning into the coaching advice.
It's one of the things I like about this. I like seeing how the teammates all sort of help, and it just makes it it does make it a different event. I think players enjoy it. It's like in tennis. I think players always say they enjoy playing things like the Davis Cup or what used to be the Fed Cup. It's the Billie Jean King Cup now, isn't it? Yeah. Because it's different, and you get that. You've got a bit more of a support mechanism around you.
Completely. I mean, we've talked about the dynamics of a team, the dynamics of playing sport on an individual level, and here you've got the support of not just your teammate or your coach, but also the squad. In this case, the 2 male players who we'll be seeing later on in action.
Okay, it is Victoria serving for the first set. We just hit the half-hour mark here in the Domo Code Arena in Guadalajara. It's another one of those where you can't really get your racket behind it, so it has to go for the lob. Oi! Puts it the wrong side of the net.
And Victoria is furious with herself.
I think for someone of her, well, for most professional players, that's just like, it looks great, but it is probably quite a simple shot to play. Put it onto the far side of the net, make it impossible to basically get your racket round. Yeah. Frustration there from Orsi. 15 all.
Ooh.
Didn't get a racket on it, but once again, when you're hanging over the net like a salmon, it doesn't really matter anyhow. 15-30.
Sharifova enjoyed that.
This time it's Caroline Orsi's turn to get into the net. 30 all.
That's the perfect reply though from Victoria. Pasa página, as they say in Spanish, just to kind of move on to the next page. And that's so critical.
Just helps it on, but helps it on a bit much. 40-30, 2 set points. Can she get it over the line? What's that? Two on her arm. Is it a Snoopy or a dog, isn't it?
Need to check that out again, Paul. Wonderful shot from
Yeah,
Iglesias.
really well played. So there we have the first set goes to the Polar Bears. 6-4. Once again, an example of how quick the court is. It's only taken us 6-4, 33 minutes.
Yeah, we've said it from the outset of the set. Victoria Iglesias here is the person generating all the spotlight, and when she does things the way she should do and the way she wants to do, Toronto are in a commanding position.
Well, what are we going to see? Are we going to see another second set turnaround?
I didn't want to say it earlier on, Paul, but I'm going to make one of my wild predictions. Actually, wild predictions that were pretty accurate yesterday when I called them. I wasn't off the money.
Don't blow your own trumpet.
This is going to be decided on a super tiebreak.
So you reckon the Atlantics are going to...
I think the Atlantics will bounce back, as we saw yesterday, where that first set dynamic transitions into the opposing side coming back. And I think there's very little to choose. I think both Orsi and Sharifova have more to offer, and I don't think we're seeing the best version of them at the moment.
So we've certainly seen them play better.
I think Sharifova's impressed. I think when she finds her groove and finds her range with her smashes, she's impressive. And I want to see more from Karolina. I think Karolina is the one player who is not playing to her full potential.
Anyhow, it is Ksenia Sharifova to serve. Wow, fantastic bajada there from Naomi Aguilar. And just saw that little space between them.
In the same way that I have called Arkansas, have you been tempted to call Ksenia Sharipova?
I did say yesterday we should actually have a fine box for anybody who calls a Sharipova. No. Yes.
Because once you start with the Shari...
Oh, you just your mental maps there, isn't it?
I mean, I don't claim to be an expert on Russian surnames, but... And I imagine too she's been countlessly called Sharipova in her time and has to correct members of the media.
So straight away, however, we have 3 break points against that. Went a bit long. Ooh, another one of those that didn't get the racket over it.
But the previous shot there from Noemi, again, it's an understated shot, but in terms of its accuracy, it was as in the corner as you could want a ball to be.
Just clips the net, so that's the second service. And well played. Another golden point.
That's what we want to see from Karolina. That's the untapped potential that we referenced earlier on.
I think if I'd been Victoria, she might have just been tall enough to get to it. But it wasn't. So it's a good lob. Oh, he leaves it. I thought for a second that might go long. That's a good lob as well. Might be a bit short. And just had a stretching there, so well played. Once again, the Polar Bears get a break of serve as they did at the start of the first set. You get a nice view of the space inside the Domo Conde Arena there, and the heat map for the first set for the set winners, Victoria Iglesias and Noemi Aguilar. Quite a lot of play from deep, I think it's fair to say, looking at that. And that's confirmed, isn't it, by the traffic light graphics. Lots and lots of shots played in that, either behind the serve line or what is called no man's land. Maybe we should be woke and call it no person's land, or no one's land. No. No body's land. The middle of the court. No 15. And 15 all. Good serve, pretty close into the side of the court there. Well played.
Taking no prisoners.
Deep, hits the long bajada. There's a little look there, thinking what happened there. Victorious, well it's 30 all. Maybe a little bit snatching at that one. Sharifova, 40-30.
I think the umpire's just advising the spectators to turn off their ringtones. Show a little respect to the quartet of players.
Oi, oi, oi. Into the net. Another golden point. Is that 5 we've had so far?
That is the 5th of the game, yeah, correct.
Most of them going for the Polar Bears so far.
Yeah.
And well played. Noemi Aguilar keeping calm, killing the point.
So Noemi Aguilar doing power. That's not something we've seen a lot of today, but it was a fine strike.
I do have a slight feeling, however, that with the daylight, I think you see that those high balls a little bit better than in the evening session. Fede had a couple of problems with balls that went right into the gods last night. Fede Chingotto. I don't know if that's just because he misread it or whether it does make it a little bit hard to see.
There was some sort of alteration in the lighting. They seemed to dim it and then increase the intensity.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's obviously if you've got too many lights and the ball goes in the spotlight, you're also in danger of losing it, aren't you? It's a tricky one to get right. So it's Carolina Orsi serving. And well played, but well recovered as well by Carolina. And well played.
I have a suspicion that might have been going towards the glass. Victoria just unfortunate to get a racket onto the ball.
Maybe she was really well getting out with the court, but I think maybe she hit that almost too hard there because it bounced up, didn't it? Gave them a chance to recover it. Just died there, that serve, so 30-15.
Bit of a collector's item in the game of paddle polo. You don't see a point so easily won from the initial serve. Victoria
15.
well off her range there with that one.
She's had a few when they've gone a bit wild, haven't they? And well finished there by Sharifova.
I'm still sticking to my guns, Paul, that this is going to go all the way.
Well, at the moment it's gone exactly the same way as the first set. Toronto Polar Bears kicking off with starting with a break of serve, and then the Atlantics holding. So 2-1. By the way, just looking at it, the Peyo and Campagnola, they've just gone off to the warm-up court, which I'm not taking as a sign that they don't have a lot of faith in their companions, but whatever happens, because the third set is a super tie break as opposed to another set as such.
You can see the way that the New York coach is demanding a little bit more from Carolina. All the emphasis aimed at the Italian player. And it's difficult to pick up exactly what's been said by the coaches. I just heard the word aguantar, which means kind of hold strong and stand out, hold out.
It also means just like don't always, just be willing to just stay in the point. Stay in the point. Don't give anything away. So it's Naomi Aguilar serving. What was an awkward one there. It actually bounced up to the cage. It's again showing the pace on this lovely Adidas court, wasn't it really? Because a normal lob doesn't usually bounce that high, but it didn't give them much options. And lob 15. Good smash there from Sharifova. Evil bounce there. Victoria apologises, but you aim for it, don't you? Let's be honest, you go for it. If you get it, if it bounces right, then it's a good point because your rival can't get it back.
No, I mean, once the ball, as we said before, the cage delivers a degree of unpredictability.
Good return, dipping quite nicely, made Orsi stretch there. Went a bit long, 15-30.
Not a player famed for expression is Noemi Paul. Very
sober.
Sober is a word, yeah. Serious in her demeanour. And I think that's
focused
potentially too, and I think that's possibly an advantage too, because I think if you show your emotions, your rivals can play on that. If they see that you're frustrated, if they see you're getting anxious.
I think one player who is a little, I really like, is a little bit guilty of that might be Sophia Sainz for the Cancun Waves. We see her really, we can see how the way the game's going affects her, both in a positive and sometimes in a negative way.
Totally, yeah.
It's an awkward one, that return there from Sharipova, and Orsi. Naomi, having got there, probably will think she might have won the point, but as it is, it's gone long. 2 break points for the Atlantics. That's a nice lob. And there is a break back. Did she dodge a bullet there, Sharifova, doing that off the back glass?
I think she did, and I think the spotlight certainly falls on Noemi. She certainly will be disappointed with that. Court at her mercy, right close to the net. Everything was in place to execute the shot, and she failed.
So Sharifova, chance to go for the first time for the Atlantics to actually get ahead in a set, even if it's only with serve. That's got enough on it. Once again, well played. Ooh, 30.
Very ambitious for Victoria, trying to go cross court.
This is something that happened when she played with Guinard. What she needs to do now is when things were going well, they were tough to beat. But once things started to turn, they did go into a bit of a decline. So the question is, will Naomi and Victoria Iglesias now just be able to just put the little break on? On this dynamic now. At the moment, just starting to go the Atlantic's way.
I was just about to say, you feel that the tide is slowly turning. A lot of unforced errors from both Victoria and from Noemi. And Sharifova and Orsi without really upping their game.
I think Sharifova's up to game a little bit there. She slides that one a bit long.
That's the game. That's one of the questions, the perennial questions in paddle. Do you win games, or do your opponents help lose games on your behalf?
Or do you put your opponents in a situation where they may lose them? Oh, that's well played. That's very good.
2-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just see from the expression on Victoria there, certainly aware that things are not going as planned.
And the coach, good lad, the coach. We see him a lot around in the restaurants, at breakfast. Everyone's surprisingly chatty at breakfast, aren't they? Normally, I sort of walk around like a zombie, really.
Well, the play. I mean, I think it's but again, another cliche, but it's one big family, and you certainly get that feeling where everybody's happy to be part of the entourage, and certainly keen to engage.
Yeah, no, it's good, it's good.
And the players certainly don't see themselves, they don't put themselves on a pedestal, they don't see themselves as being on a sort of higher level than mere mortals like myself and yourself. So plenty of atmosphere here in the arena, Paul, and tickets still available. And it's not just the paddle, there's food trucks outside, Paul, there's merchandise stalls, there's places to have refreshments.
Oh, there's quite a lot of places for refreshments.
Plenty of activity away from the central court here. And there's the famous red and white stripes. One of the two teams, actually got three teams in the city of Guadalajara. This is my first foray into the world of football today, Paul. Obviously,
you've taken an hour as well.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed.
I'm slipping. So Chivas Guadalajara, and I do believe, I've heard through the grapevine, there will be some Chivas players in attendance later on today.
You can point them out to me then. When we were in San Sebastian, I could recognise the Athletic Bilbao and Real Sociedad players. I might struggle with the Chivas players.
I think Pulido, who is one of the star names in the.
Oh, I'm sure the camera will focus on him if they see him.
Yeah, I imagine they'll be here for the evening session.
And I imagine they'll be in the cheap seats behind the court.
That's better. That is better from Victoria Iglesias.
15 all. Well played, Orsi. 30-15. Sorry, 15-30. Kept that one going. Sharifova. And Orsi gets that one in and just had too much on it. 30-all.
That is really bad luck from Carolina there. Doing so well to recover.
Difficult because of the angle she was actually had to play it over the top at to get it up and down. Wow, that was a really nasty one there. I think Noe, all she could really do was swipe at that one and hope that it didn't come back. And
Yeah, I think she just lost her attention for a second there, just watching the ball. I think she was anticipating that Victoria was going to take the shot, and it was just that split second.
so another couple of break points.
Sharifova does like that shot from the back wall, and it's coming off well for her today.
Just bounces in, that's gone high. Has it gone long? It has. Another break of serve, 4-2 to Orsi and Sharifova. And it'll be Carolina Orsi serving to go 5-2 up. Well, looks like your prediction could come true.
Well, it's a question of history repeating itself. This is, the fifth time we've seen this kind of dynamic in all the games that we've been involved in, Paul?
We've had, how many games have we had here? 5.
This is the fifth, and it's all gone the same. The form guide has followed a certain pattern.
Mm-hmm. Opts the lob there. Another good rally here. Just trying to dominate here, the polar bears. And again, she likes that. She does play that well, doesn't she, off the back?
And just screws it into the glass. Certainly the best rally that we've enjoyed in this morning's action, Paul. And she knows that the frustration as she goes to ground. Again, very important that Ksenia resets, puts that behind her, and turns her attention to this next point.
Sends that one long as well. 15-30.
I guarantee she will not risk any ambiguous shot at the moment when she's in that mindset. She knows she's made 2 errors. She's not going to go for a trio. Back glass.
Oh, she didn't really have the space there, did she, to work with? And 3 more break points. Just giving herself a little talking to.
Well, that image tells you everything you need to know about the frustration being experienced by Sharifova.
She just backs her into a corner, literally, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean there was no wiggle room to get a clean connection on the shot.
Just want a little bit of grease taken off the back of the court. Oh, there it is.
Again, 3 unforced errors.
It's like my beloved when I've been cleaning the kitchen windows. It's like, no, you missed a bit there, and there, and there. Actually, just do it all again. You've been there as well, haven't you?
I didn't have you down as a Mr. Sheen, Paul.
Well, every so often, you know.
Just a smudge of sweat mark.
Which, once again, is one of those things that can just affect the spin of the ball.
Totally, 100%, Paul, yeah.
And there is a break back for the Polar Bears. What's that now with a chance to make it 4-all. It's become quite an enthralling second set.
Going to be interesting if we get a camera action of the Atlantic's bench here, and just to see how the coach manages the emotional current state of Ksenia Sharifova, because as you can see, she is a player who is asking plenty of questions.
She's the one who's getting the little chat as well, they've seen that she's the one who just needs that little lift.
Yeah, and we've seen early on the spotlight maybe fell on Carolina, who was maybe not at her best. Sharifova was killing the points, delivering all those kind of clinchers, and that pendulum has swung the other way.
Come on, let's go, yeah. Do we agree?
Miami Paddle Club fan there wearing the ubiquitous pink jersey. Does sound like Rick Astley playing over the PA. Surely it can't be. Anyway,
I don't think so.
but in our time in Guadalajara, but we've been blessed by wonderful music.
Quite good. It's been like going back to the 80s and 90s, hasn't it? It's been.
Bit of Snow Patrol at breakfast, Arcade Fire, Amy Winehouse, a bit of Nirvana yesterday on our little venture over to the Centro Comercial.
I'm not sure Amy Winehouse is quite what you want when you're having your toast and orange juice there, but
Again, and I apologise to any reggaeton fans tuning in, but
we're not fans.
it's certainly better than being
Reggaeton.
greeted by reggaeton as you scoop those scrambled eggs onto your plate, Paul.
Or at any time of the day, basically. I'm going to be honest, you know. Naomi Aguilar looking to tie the setup. Lovely play there from Victoria Iglesias.
Exquisite drop there from Victoria.
As we just passed the hour mark here in our opening match of a long session here in Guadalajara. 8 matches in total.
On the subject of reggaeton, I'm sure it was Daddy Yankee was one of the former investors of one of the former teams.
Former, yep. I must confess I wouldn't know him from Bad Rabbit or whatever.
Great shot there from Carolina. And if I was to name one of the 4 players on the court, Paul, in the best mind space at the moment, it would be Carolina Orsi. I think she's kind of slowly sort of gone through the gears in terms of her play.
It's a loose shot there, isn't it, from Senia? Come on, she just needs to get a couple of winners in, doesn't she? So maybe Carolina is just trying to do a little bit. Is she trying maybe to do a bit too much? Did well there, Naomi, to recover. Yeah.
Is
And it is all square, 4 games all. I think there was a couple of times there where just that little lack of this moment that she's in there, Sharifova. There was a couple of chances I thought, well, she might have gone for a winner and just played it a little bit safe.
Yeah, it's the confidence thing. And again, it's never nice to be on a paddle court and to see your teammates suffer, because you suffer whilst they suffer.
Oh yeah, and she's been playing well, but just the last couple of games, it's just gone a little bit pear-shaped. And she's got to hold her serve now as well. Oh, yeah, it's gone a bit long. Love 15.
And that's the thing, it's very important that tendency, that negative spiral doesn't become infectious, and Carolina picks up the bug and the whole thing spirals out of control and gives the initiative back to Toronto.
Oh, once again, it's a second serve. We love 30. This is starting to look a bit worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, my prediction of this going to a third set is a little bit...
It's not over till Callas sings. Well, good keeping calm there. Orsi puts it down in the Chiquita, couldn't get it back. 15-30. Again that two-handed shot, and again that floor eat me up expression. 15-40, 3 break points. 3 break points to leave them with a chance to serve for the match. That's what she needed, that's better. (30-40). Still 2 break points to defend though. And again, that's much
Wonderful
better.
shot.
And the celebration and another golden point.
Victoria just misjudging the shot.
Just caught a little bit in a place where she couldn't get it back. Ooh, it's gone very high. Will she take it on? Ah! And she did. But in this case might have been better off not doing it. So there is the break of serve. Victoria Iglesias will have the chance to serve for the match when we get back out on court.
And it smiles all round on the bench of Toronto, Paul. They know they're on the cusp of securing what would be the first points for the women in not just today in Guadalajara in the tournament, but in the whole calendar in Miami and San Sebastian.
Exactly, no. And they've not really been close before either, so...
History in the making.
Spanish commentator just next to us, Peter, was here doing a coaching clinic for the last week or so. He's getting a few visits from fans.
That's one of the things too that's refreshing to see in the world of paddle, Paul. After the game, when the players are exhausted, they're emotionally drained, they still dedicate time to sign balls, to sign jerseys, to pose for selfies.
Yeah.
And that's something I just hope never changes.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, the fans are what gives you a living, aren't they, at the moment? So you've just... the fans here also respect the players as well, don't they? It's not like any people demand it like they're entitled to it either.
Right, so here we go. Are we about to witness a little bit of history in the PPL? Oh, that's a disappointing shot from Carolina, with the court at her mercy, and she drives into the net.
15 love. Well played, Carolina. 15 all. Nice return, good lob, and that's once again gone up high. Asking the question. Sharifova this time opts for the Chiquita, doesn't go for the winner.
No, I think you're going to see a passage of very conservative defensive play from Sharifova at the moment.
Well, it's worked out this time because Victoria put that one long, 15-30. All. Bit of tension just building up, isn't there, in this game? Because if they win this, okay, they take the win. If not, who knows what happens? Deep, difficult one there for.
Great play from Noemi.
Well played, really well played from Naomi Aguilar there. So her and Victoria Iglesias have 2 match points.
Great celebration and a wry smile from Noemi. She knows that she's put her team in a commanding position.
And
there it is.
More than commanding. That is the match. 6-4. 6-4. The Polar Bears beaten the New York Atlantics in 1 hour and 10 minutes.
And create that little small bit of history in the Pro Paddle League, securing their first points for the franchise.
Well played, especially in that last game. Naomi Aguilar, that was excellent, just kept calm under pressure. Feel a little bit sorry for Senia Sharifova because she was playing really well in the second set and then just had a nightmare game with 3 or 4 points all going against her, and that just looked as if it just robbed her of her confidence. Big smile there from Victoria Iglesias. All on the Polar Bears.
In a matter of seconds we'll catch up with both Noemi and Victoria.
We will indeed. We'll have our presenter Pia down courtside. Are you going to translate what you hear from them this time?
I will make an effort to transmit what Victoria and Noemi say.
Jolly good. Well, I mean, I think it'd be something along the lines of, we're very happy about that. Okay, my new term, Pia is here.
Pues estoy con las primeras ganadoras del día de hoy de Toronto Polar Bears, Noemí y Victoria. Victoria, felicidades. La verdad, una dupla muy bien compaginada, muchísima química entre ustedes dos.
Yeah, just acknowledging how the Toronto Bears were the superior side, winning the first game of the season.
Estamos súper ilusionada porque yo creo que es la primera vez que ganamos un partido.
Victoria acknowledging that it's the first time that they've won, and they're delighted with the outcome.
Hemos jugado súper bien, hemos complementado de 10 y nada.
Tribute to Noemi, her style of play.
Pero la verdad es que hoy se han visto muy bien en este estreno en México. Es bien temprano y sin embargo hay mucha gente aquí apoyándolas. ¿Cómo se han sentido con los fans mexicanos?
The game
la
being
verdad
played
que súper bien
in the
para
early
ser
morning
súper
here in
temprano
Mexico.
y para ser viernes es hoy, sí. Hay mucha gente animando, así que la verdad que muchas gracias
Giving
porque
thanks to
hemos
the
sentido un
fans who've
montón de
made the
apoyo
effort to
y nada, dar las
attend
gracias a
the
Victoria porque la
arena
verdad
here
que
in
he
Guadalajara.
disfrutado un montón, creo que se ha notado en la pista porque nos hemos reído mucho y eso también suma al equipo, así que nada, súper contentas.
Un equipo
And
súper
Noemi
dinámico,
also
felicidades
acknowledging that they
chicas
enjoyed
y
their
pues un
time
aplauso
on
de
court.
parte de todos nosotros porque la verdad dieron
And it's a
un
round,
partidazo y que
warm
sea
round of
una gran
applause for
semana
the
para
Toronto Polar
ustedes
Bears.
aquí en Guadalajara.
Victoria
¿Y qué
Iglesias Igelsias
del público
and
tenemos
Noemi
regalitos.
Aguilar.
Victoria y Noemí les van a firmar unas pelotas
And they
para
will now
estarlas regalando.
spend some time
Felicidades, chicas.
signing jerseys and a few balls. And that's the end of game 1 of day